photos. Yeah. Oh. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Freely. So today's video is going to be a review of the WANDRD VEER 18L packable day pack. Before we get started though, I did want to mention that the Japan vlogs are up. There's currently 3 parts on the channel at the time of recording this. I'm currently editing the next part, so if you guys are interested in watching the Japan vlogs, definitely check it down. The link in the description and card on either side. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. So like I said, we just came back from a trip to Japan and I used this bag pretty much every single day on our trip there. How this is gonna work is I'm gonna list the pros and the cons, and you guys can kind of gauge on whether this is a backpack for you if you're considering buying this. So the first pro I want to say is that it's compact. So obviously this is a packable day pack, and for it to be any bigger than this, I feel like will kind of defeat the purpose of it being a packable day pack, because it's gonna be kind of big. But this size is actually a really great size. It's just big enough to fit on top of my backpack. So as we were going there, I had it packed on top of my backpack. So I have here the Gravity roll top, and so when I had it packed, I just had it clipped on just like this. So, you know, just walking through the airport and traveling just like this on top there, and they didn't really say anything. You didn't have any issues with it just clipped on like that. And so that's how I carry the backpack, and it's really great because it's really compact. That's one great pro about this. So this backpack is a perfect size for a day pack. So let me just unpack the bag from its bag. Whoa! And there you go. And we are 80% done. We still have a little bit set up to do. So once you get it unpacked, you can close this. This was originally the zipper that you just saw I undid earlier, and it works as the outside zipper here. I like storing this piece inside of the bag because I don't want to lose it. But it's the inflatable back panel. I have a couple things to say about this, but I'll say this later. I just want to show you how compact it is and how it's the perfect size for a day pack. So back panel, and insert this back in here. So now it has a little bit of a structure. So once you have the back panel all blown up, so it comes out to about this size, and honestly 18 liters is a perfect size for a day pack because it's just enough to carry things you need for the day, plus a little bit extra if you buy like food or souvenirs as you're out, but also not too big where you're just carrying and lugging around this huge backpack. On top of me, this backpack is actually a really good size, and I just love using it on our trip there, and I thought it was really great. So the next thing I'm going to mention about this bag is that it comes with a inflatable camera cube, which I thought was very, very innovative and very useful for me on a trip there. I pretty much vlogged almost every single day there in Japan, and I also brought my Polaroid. Let me get that. So not only was I bringing around my Canon M50, I was also lugging around this huge Polaroid camera. And you might say like, man, that must have been a lot to carry, and it must have been hard to like really transport it because, you know, you're moving around a lot, you might damage the camera. With this camera cube, I was able to fit this Polaroid in here, and with the inflatableness of this device, it kept my camera safe. So let me blow this up. So this is the camera cube blowing up. It provides really good protection. It's really firm, and over time you might need to like re-inflate it because the air will inevitably escape. But yeah, so once you have it in here, I kept my Polaroid in here whenever I needed it. Take it out, kaboom, and boom. And it's really safe. Honestly, like if I drop this or if I drop my backpack, I feel totally safe about my camera being safe in here. So the backpack has a little space for the camera cube inside here. So like there's this kind of like this mesh lining here, and this is kind of meant for the camera cubes. Once you have it inflated, you can insert it into that mesh lining here. So once you have it in there, as you can see, it's in there. It has its own mesh, as you can see. It sits on the kind of the bottom of the bag, so it's in the perfect spot of the bag that it's weighted down. So as you open it, you can access, for me, I access the camera through the side pocket. So just like that, zip it up. Ooh. So it's right there inside the backpack. Open through the side axis, take it out, take your picture, and it's good to go. It doesn't need to be a camera inside there. It could be just something that's very fragile. I don't know, maybe you buy like a ceramic mug at a shop or something. Anything that's fragile, you could be putting, I don't know, like hard drives in there. Although I wouldn't recommend putting hard drives inside there. As for a camera, sticking inside there will provide more than enough protection for your stuff, in my opinion. Really great item and very innovative, I'd say. So like I mentioned earlier, the back panel, you kind of have to like blow it up and then stick it in here, and there's a specific sleeve for the back panel. And from my experience, the back panel was actually very comfortable. Like I said earlier, similar to the camera cube, you might have to re-inflate the back panel over time because air will inevitably, English man, escape from the from those inserts. So it's a good idea to like periodically inflate them. Over our 2 weeks there, I only had to inflate it once, and that was towards the end of our trip. Whenever it feels like you don't have support in your back and you're walking around, use common sense and just re-inflate it. Not that hard. The next thing on my list for another pro of this backpack is this top pocket right up here, and this is pretty much the inverted version of the backpack. So like when I inverted it and turned it into a backpack, this is where the backpack was kind of in, or this is the outside of the case of the backpack. So that's pretty cool. It's a double use. But this pocket is honestly really helpful because you can keep all your valuable things. And when you're walking around, I did this when I was there, and I had this realization when I was walking around. Say you're in a kind of sketchy place and you hold your backpack like this because obviously you don't want people to take. So you hold your backpack like this and you have all your valuable belongings in this top one. It's really easy to access it because the zipper is towards your body. So like, you know, you're just walking around and it's in a good secure place because it's like the closest to your body right now. So you could be holding it like this, and then, you know, you could have your wallet or anything valuable here in the top one. That's a very cool feature, and especially if you hold it on your back, it's really good too because that zipper is towards your body, and it's harder to take stuff and steal stuff from you when the zipper is faced towards your body and not outside like this front pocket here. And I gotta say, with this front pocket, it's pretty useful. From my experience using it over the couple weeks, I tried to not put stuff in here because I feel like it's just a very messy pocket. At the same time, this one is a kind of very messy pocket. It's kind of just like a big of everything. This one is just kind of hard because the way that it opens, if you look here, it opens up and down, and it's kind of hard sometimes when you just have it filled with stuff. You know, things might fall out and you just have to be careful of, I don't know, anything falling out of there. But that's just a very minor complaint about that. But overall, I like how the zippers are very like weather sealed right there. I also kind of mentioned this earlier, is this side access pocket right here on the bag. So this one I used a lot, obviously, because I stored my Polaroid camera and I carried it around with me every single day. So we're kind of like walking. I see something cool to take a picture of. Boom, just like that. Just like that. Take the picture, snap. Back in the bag, zip it up. Great, good to go. And we're on our way. So you can use this for more than just accessing just the camera compartment. You also get access to the rest of the main pocket here of the bag. So like if you have like extra stuff, this is where you could go and access it. You don't only need to access the camera stuff, the inflatable camera cube, you also have access to the rest of the bag. I found myself just using the side axis to put stuff in my bag because I can easily see, and if I need to move stuff around, it's easier that way. So this side axis is excellent, and the zippers I'm really satisfied with because no water is getting inside those zippers. And that's also another pro, is that this bag is very water resistant. I'm not gonna say waterproof. I would not recommend throwing this into a pool. But if you get caught in the rain like we did, because I also had my camera, my M50 and the Polaroid camera in here, but I really did not worry about it getting drenched in water and rain because the material on this backpack is really good. And actually in our last day there, me and my brother went down into the city and it was raining really hard. All our stuff were safe inside here because of the water resistantness of the backpack, and I gotta say it's an A+ on water resistance for this bag. You should feel safe when you're out and it just starts raining. Just don't jump in a pool with it, because why would you do that?
Should be dry.
So another great thing about this backpack, and I wish more backpacks had, was a water bottle pocket that's really huge and deep. So if you look here, this water bottle pocket goes from up here all the way down here. So it goes really low. This is a huge pocket. So in Japan, they have these like really big water bottles. I don't know if I have any clips of it, but these big water bottles are like that big, and we would use that. We'd buy it every morning for the rest of the day. We would just be drinking from it, and this pocket was the perfect size for that. If you ever been to Japan and you've seen those water bottles, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I just gotta say that this water bottle pocket is one of my favorites I've ever seen on a bag, just because it's really deep pocket and it can hold really big water bottles, hydro flask, anything. A problem that I see with a lot of backpacks is that the water bottle like sleeve or holder is kind of lacking, and it can only hold like those really skinny water bottles or those really skinny hydro flasks. I gotta say, this is one of my favorite water bottle pockets on any backpack I've ever seen. Definitely an A+. I do want to mention, if you ever have to do this side axis thing when you put it up to your side and put on one shoulder, do keep in mind that the water bottle holders on the other side. But as for me, I didn't really have much problem with that because the pockets were so deep and you'll just keep the water bottle in there. So I think that's a really great feature on this, and one feature I did not expect for me to really like. It's just a really great feature on this bag. The last thing I want to say for pros is that the zippers super fluid. Like I said, they have very nice zippers. They're all like water resistant, sealed, or whatever you call it. I feel like every backpack should have zippers like this because it should be a standard. So we're just gonna get into the cons really quick. I don't really have many complaints. From my experience, I kept a lot of the things I carried in this top pocket right here. Anything from wallets to we carried a pocket Wi-Fi along with like several backup batteries for charging our phones. But when this top pocket gets really heavy and weighted down, it does cause this top of part of the backpack to really like sag down like this. Like when walking around, a lot of times the backpack was kind of like in this sort of shape where like this top pocket is really weighted down, and it's kind of like, it almost looks like a ball in some cases. Of course, you could move some of the heavy stuff into this front pocket right here, but since this pocket is a little bit more secure and this zipper is facing my body, I kind of opted in to keep it in this top one because it's just easier to access that way, and it's a little bit more safe. Japan is a safe place, but if you're going to more sketchy areas or places where you just have to keep in mind of your belongings, you're gonna want to keep it up here because it's just, you know, the zipper isn't a very prime place for security. But yeah, so this is one of the cons. That little piece just makes the backpack look like a ball almost. But that's that. I wouldn't say this is a con, but it's about the back panel. So the back panel is really great for a bag like this, a packable day bag. I guess one of the main problems for other ones is that it just doesn't have as much support as you would need. So with this inflatable back panel, it provides support, but not as much support as you might need. I'm gonna tread these waters carefully because although this back panel is really good and it does its job really well, I feel like it's just not a complete replacement for like a very solid back panel. I guess it is a trade-off because this, you know, this whole kit comes into a very small form factor. But I wouldn't say like this inflatable back panel is gonna revolutionize everything, but I will say that it does its job, and it does its job really well. and I'm pretty satisfied with it, and I really hope that more backpack manufacturers and backpack companies will try to implement something like this and maybe try to innovate on it and just make this feature of a backpack more widely available and more evolved and what have you. So this back panel, although great, could use improvement. I'll just say that. Those are the only cons I have really for this bag. I really had a blast using this bag, and I think if we went there with any other bag, I wouldn't have had as much of an enjoyable experience carrying, you know, my main camera along with the Polaroid camera, because this made travel and, you know, going around Tokyo and Japan a lot easier. So overall, would I recommend this bag for anyone looking for like a day pack if they're going to, you know, if they're going on their first trip and they just need something really easy and pretty low-key? I really like how this backpack is really low-key. I got the black one, so it doesn't really look like much really. So would I recommend this bag? Yes, totally I would recommend this. If not for like the small form factor, but for all the other features that come with it. So it keeps in mind the, you know, photographers, videographers that might have extra lenses or extra camera gear that they don't want to, you know, just carry around, or they just want to throw it in the bag. That little camera cube keeps those photographers, videographers in mind. With that said, even though you're not a photographer or a videographer, just having this inflatable camera cube, you can use it for other things, you know, just anything that you might bring with you that might be fragile, or if you just want to keep something separate from your other things inside the bag, this is really awesome. And other than that, it's comfortable, it's water resistant, and overall I had a very positive experience with this bag. And I would suggest, if you're in the market for a day pack and you really like WANDRD's other products like the Provoke, and you'll be very satisfied with the WANDRD VEER. One thing I forgot to mention is that the material is very light and water resistant, but I never felt like the bag was ever going to like tear and like break under the weight, because I felt this bag pretty heavy on our trip in. I thought like, oh man, this is gonna really like ruin it, but it's still in great shape. I do have some scuff marks here and there, and I'm kind of proud I do, because I made those scuff marks in Japan. The material on here is really great. So far, maybe I'll make a video in the future. I'll use this on several more trips and kind of like do like a 1-year review of this backpack and see if it's really worth it and it holds up over long periods of travel. So yeah, we'll just see how that goes. So I want to hear what you guys think. What do you guys think of the WANDRD VEER 18L, and what do you look for in a day pack? Leave them all in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So if you really like this backpack, click the affiliate link in the description box, so I get a little percentage of the commission if you ever use that link, and it helps support this channel. So definitely use it if you want to help me create these videos and just make good content for all y'all. And before we go, if you guys are interested in seeing the Japan vlogs where I used this backpack for the whole 2 weeks we were there, check the link down in the description and any of the cards here, and leave a comment like the WANDRD VEER backpack video sent you, and I think it'll be really cool to see that. So with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and leave a comment below, subscribe to be notified whenever I post something new, and until then, I'll catch you guys later.